Yeah, I did want to talk about it a little bit and a couple of my thoughts and stuff. So there is probably, hold on, there is probably going to be a little bit of spoilers here, territory wise, but I did want to talk about X-Men 97. Let me move me over to the right here real quick. So, overall, I really, hold on, let me pause this real quick. Let me lower the volume down just a bit so it's not so in the way. There we go. So, my overall thoughts on X-Men 97. I thought it was a 10 episode series on Netflix. Had a chance to catch up and finally watch around. Or is it Netflix or is it on Disney Plus? I could be wrong. Oh, sorry, Disney Plus. Sorry. I thought it hit Netflix, but I was wrong. Found 97 well worth the watch. A little slow early, but overall great. Yeah, Rando. Honestly, I kind of like, so I almost want to say it was a little bit of a slow burn in the beginning, but you kind of get hit with the nice nostalgia in the beginning, especially with the opening number. Seeing all the characters and the cast come back. They did try to do their best to kind of catch you up, but you didn't really need to unless, and then it did not hinge too heavily on some of the nostalgia or like having to go back and watch the entire series back then. Couple key things, obviously, when we had Cyclops and Jean Grey come in as saying that she's pregnant, and I was like, okay, cool, that's cool. A lot of it was based off of like if you just kind of knew the characters, because like I had forgotten about Cable, I forgot about quite a few of the other characters, but I think, obviously the iconic, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Jubilee, Storm, Rogue, they're all there. Gambit. It was amazing to see them come back from a nostalgia perspective. What's up, Achilles? Good to see ya. Yeah, I thought once we get to like, I almost want to say not even the second half of the season. I almost want to say like even in I don't know, maybe like somewhere in the middle or like episode 4, like it just picks up really quickly. They do a really good job condensing a lot of the storylines or like their feelings into like an appropriate amount of time. There were times where I thought when I was watching the show that I was like, oh my gosh, we've done all this. It's like, oh, we're all like, what episode are we on? Like, this must be like already deep. But I was only on like episode 5 or episode 6, right? Especially with all the stuff that was happening. It felt like the pacing of it was well done that I had not even noticed the runtime. The fact that they only run it in like 30-minute episodes was insane to me, because I was like, how did you manage to condense that into 30 minutes? Maybe we're just bloating a lot of the shows as of late. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of other shows as of late, but there are times when I can watch like something at like honestly like 1.5 speed and I'd be like, okay, I'm like quick to catch up, and I didn't really miss a single beat. There was enough room for them to like let the characters breathe, have their emotions, and then still like lock down for like what's going on in the story. A lot of the personal journeys in them were really well tied together, or really good. And yeah, honestly, the storytelling, especially going from each transition to each of the arcs, was fantastic. Yo, it's 4 p.m. for you, man. Well, I hope you're chilling, man. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, I watched very little of the original series, but it didn't feel out of my depth. I'm very aware of the property from other variants, though. Yes. So, yeah, you didn't need too much to catch up on, especially right out of the gate. But, like, the density of the story and how much it impacted, like, their world was really, really well done, I think I should say. I don't know what the right word is, but I guess it was amazing, because the combination of knowing that Magneto takes over for the Spider-Man right out of the gate, or not Spider-Man, X-Men. Why the fuck did I say Spider-Man? I'm going to get to Spider-Man eventually too. But I did also, speaking of him, they did squeeze in those little bit of cameos at the end, the old school Daredevil, the Spider-Man from the 90s series. They even threw in Cloak and Dagger, surprisingly, and I was just like, whoa, that was kind of left field. They threw in Silver Samurai as well, as like a little bit of cameo. The cameo that caught me off guard the most, to be honest, was like Captain America. When okay, you know, a little bit of spoilers or whatever. When Rogue kind of goes rogue for a little bit, and she goes to the cabin out in the woods. I'm trying to be pretty vague about it. I was like, well, you know, okay, she's doing her thing. All of a sudden, Captain America shield just drops in, and I'm like, whoa, where did this cameo suddenly come from? I was like, I was not expecting the Cap to show up, and you know, to make an appearance in all this, but that was a nice touch. It didn't deter too heavily from the main focus of the X-Men. And it did make sure that they're like acknowledging that, okay, the X-Men are still part of like the cinematic universe. I still enjoyed it overall, and I would highly recommend it, especially if you've never watched the '97. If you're not associated with the nostalgia of that era, I still think the storytelling in 10 episodes, which is realistically like what, maybe 5 hours roughly's worth of content, was really well condensed. A lot of the side characters did not need a lot of backstory, a lot of mixture. It was kind of like, you know, you have your villains of the week kind of thing. It's like you can tell who the villain is, and it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't as deep as it needed to be to understand the characters or some of the villains, you know, like Mr. Sinister or whatever. It's just like, okay, you know, he's the bad guy. Kind of just move on from there, you know, maybe get a little bit of backstory, but it left you, if you wanted more, you can go out of your way to dig up more of that information from there. But yeah, for the fact that it was only like 10 episodes, 30 minutes each, so 5 hours worth of all that, it was pretty well done. So yeah, I just want to do that because I want to try to at least put more reviews out there, or at least some more content out there. But yeah, if you guys have not seen X-Men '97, whether it be on Disney Plus, you can probably find it in some other areas. I won't mention any of them here, but I think they did a really good job mixing well enough of the nostalgia, but really know how to push this narrative forward and also create new storylines to help give it. And it felt very nice to see how well the characters kind of matured going into this franchise, I guess you can say, or this series. Spoiler alert, they did try to set this up for essentially a season 2. I don't know if that is actually going to end up happening. I've yet to see anything. I'm usually really bad at keeping up with any of the dirt sheets or anything like that when it comes to all that stuff. But if it does happen, I'm curious to see it. I hope it doesn't, you know, go too far, because it looks like they're starting to really spread themselves a little thin with what they did at the end. So I'm like, okay, be careful about this. But I do hope that if season 2 comes out, that they really keep that really nice, strong story narrative that they had done in the first season. So I look forward to the second season. That's my quick review on X-Men '97. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. All right.